Welcome into a brand new episode of Tribal Council Chat. As always, we are your hosts. My name is Bruce Heller,
And my name's Brett Parnell.
and let's dive in. We have
Let's do it.
episode 3 already of Survivor 50. What are your just kind of overall impressions of the episode?
Um, I'm so glad the fans voted for a tribe swap. I mean, I don't think this was that controversial in the fan base that we like tribe swaps. They make the game more interesting.
Charlie was not a fan of the fans voting Tribe Swap, but we'll get to that because that was a hilarious moment for me.
Yeah. Charlie had a lot of hilarious moments this episode.
A lot of hilarious moments. He was kind of the recipient of a WTF moment from Rizzo
Yeah.
that we'll get to because I can't explain his thinking at all why he thought a certain question he asked was a good idea.
I mean, there's a lot of people who ask questions that are not good questions, but
Yeah, that just seems like it was a bad idea. We'll get to it.
yeah.
This was a fun episode. I find draft team wise, I finally lost someone. And honestly, there was one person on, I mean, even before the immunity challenge, like whole episode, there is only one person on my team that I never had a moment of thinking, oh, they're going home this episode. And it's somehow the person that played one of the most dominant winning games we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because at one point, like, her name never came up. I briefly thought Emily was going home. And then coach said the plan was Steph, so I thought it was going to be her because her name came up. And it ended up being Q. Not a great episode for my team.
Not a great episode for your team, but better that it's your fourth round pick that goes home at this point. I mean, at that point, it's a new, mathematically speaking, you taking Q second to the last pick is a numerical advantage compared to where he should be if every pick goes in order. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. So, diving in, I don't have any notes from this, but do you have anything from the kind of post tribal follow up from last week when we get back to camp?
Not a ton. Just that we get tree mail right before the swap. That was kind of neat to see again. It seems
Yeah.
like in the modern era, so much players just show up at challenges. So having a tree mail scene was a blast from old school.
Yeah, it was. Speaking of fun blast from the past, and I guess blast from the current since they went from 60 to 90, we finally have the theme song for
We
50.
do.
This was awesome.
That was an amazing opening. Um, and not only do we get a bit of the theme song, but we get a full intro that includes everybody who's been on the season.
Yeah.
So, like, shout out to Savannah, Kyle, and Jenna, who all belong in at least for a millisecond in every episode of the season, plus everybody else that we're going to at some point lose.
Yeah. It was really cool. Love seeing the theme song. So, coming out of that, we go to Sela and we see Christian and Rick are plotting about how to tell their allies, Suri and Emily, about the idol. And
Yeah,
they decide to tell them that Rick is who found it and sent it instead of Christian to keep the idol finder reputation off of Christian. That's brilliant.
that is. I mean, Christian was known for that in his first season, so it's probably already a big threat. But
Was
now
he?
it's some. I thought so.
I mean,
I
Rick
mixing.
definitely was.
Yeah,
When I think of idol hounds, like
I
my
might be
mind
mixing
goes
them
to
up.
like Rick and Ben and Tony. Christian doesn't come to my mind in
That's
that
fair.
same league.
But it definitely helps him to keep the target off him.
Yeah,
I might have been thinking of somebody else,
and
but
Rick's gonna have that idol hunter thing.
no matter what,
Yeah, that was his game his first season. It had to be.
Yeah.
So this is just a smart move from them. I love the two of them as a pair. They're so much
And
fun.
the other thing though is too now is that enough people are not only finding idols, but are also getting idols through this boomerang twist
Mm-hmm.
that at some point everybody in the game is going to know that yes, the fans did vote to have idols in this game. And
Yeah.
it's probably already happened.
Oh, they already know, I think, because talk of these idols has made it around.
That's what I mean.
And then, yeah, they know at this point. But we go to what we think is going to be the first challenge.
And it's not. Those, as Jeff says at the end, he has nothing else. Just go back to camp.
And it's a swap, but something really, I thought was really funny. I'm sure the Survivor fandom online is crushing this as cringy or annoying or whatever. And I don't want to hear it because we got Probst rapping.
I thought that was hilarious.
It's incredible.
And I mean, Probst proved when he was on the Jimmy Fallon show that he does have some musical talent.
He used to host a musical Jeopardy show.
That's true. Speaking of that, did you ever see the clip where um Jeff was on Celebrity Jeopardy with Alex Trebek?
No.
So Celebrity Jeopardy, the questions are always meant to be easier, but one of them it's like Jeff's playing and it just comes up questions rock and roll in TV, and it's like this reality game show host used to host Rock and Roll Jeopardy.
Oh my gosh.
And Jeff is just like, who is Jeff Probst?
That's incredible. I need to see if that's on YouTube now.
I'll find it.
Okay.
There's a lot of funny ones. It's Jeff, Martha Stewart, and Magic. Some basketball player. I want to say Magic Johnson, but it might not be.
Yeah. But back before, anytime you saw Martha Stewart, she had Snoop Dogg with her.
Yes.
Because
Exactly.
every time you see her, it's the two of them together now. Which is hilarious, and I'm here for that. But it's, yeah, Probst rapping is incredible. He raps us into the swap. It gives the vibe of the fried chicken and waffles thing, but it's
Yep.
so much funnier.
Yeah.
So, and here's the funny. We said there's a couple Charlie moments. Here's the funny one I referenced. Is he's talking to Probst about how he's kind of upset with the fans for voting a swap. This pisses me off a little bit. I'm in a good spot. Now I'm not.
Yes.
And Christian goes, Charlie, did you vote for swap when you were voting? And Charlie just pauses and goes, yeah.
That was great.
It's
And I
so
mean,
good.
for Christian to recognize in that spur of the moment to ask that question is just hilarious.
But of course he did. Of course Charlie voted yes on it.
Yeah. I'm just surprised that CBS actually, I mean, I guess that moment was too funny not to air, but CBS actually admitted that the players were all able to vote, other than, well, I mean, technically Savannah and Rizzo voted as fans before they even knew they were playing.
Well, why wouldn't the players be able to vote, though? They hadn't left and the cast hadn't been announced yet.
Yeah.
I've always assumed they were able to vote.
I assume that some of them at least might have got calls and then been told not to touch it. Who knows?
Well, Rick said in the premiere that he voted for no idols, so
Oh, okay, I missed that.
which I don't believe, but
Yeah. Oh, I didn't miss that. I just didn't believe it. That's right. That was a big moment in the premiere. But it at this point, 2 weeks later, has left my mind because it was utter BS.
I love Rick. He's so
Yeah.
fun. So our new tribes on Vatu, which the players called the Purple Tribe, that is a pink buff, not a purple buff. Shout out to Tegwith who made a whole video saying that. We have Angelina, Steph, Q, Mike, Ozzy, Christian, and Emily. And this tribe goes to tribal, so we'll see more of them. On the new CELA, we have D, Camilla, Jonathan, Charlie, Rizzo, Sari, and Devins. And on the new Kalo, we have Aubrey, Colby, Genevieve, Coach, and Chrissy, Tiffany, and Ozzy.
Yep, which we brought up last week.
Yeah, we went through this, but just reminding people this is a fun groups.
They are good groups.
And so
it was funny just now. My dad said he was watching Tyson's podcast earlier tonight, and supposedly when they got back to their tribes, Q went up to Angelina and was just like, "So, when was the last time you talked to Mike? Are you guys close?" And Angelina's like, "A couple years ago when I was on White Lotus." And then Q instantly goes to Mike and it goes, "When was the last time you talked to Angelina?" And Mike's like, "A week ago before we came here."
Yeah.
That's funny. I mean, say what you want about Q. At least he's always thinking about how he can try to break the game open. Some of it doesn't quite make sense, and we'll talk about that today, I'm sure.
Yeah. So we do not have a swap challenge this week. Sometimes when we get a tribe swap, we'll get a challenge right after it.
Yeah. Nope, no swap. Just go back to the beach and get to know your new tribes.
And so.
And I mean, these people already pretty much all know each other, so there's not really get to know your new tribes much, except for maybe some of the very recent new era people. I'm looking at, say, a Rizo, Genevieve, Camilla, Joe.
Yeah. And speaking of Joe and Colby are very happy with their new tribe.
Are they ever?
They both tell us that in confessional. Joe tells us that coming into the game, he was hoping to get to play with Coach and Colby. Now the swap put him on a tribe with both of them.
And I mean, if you look at it, this really gives you two sides to the coin. On one hand, obviously Joe and Colby are happy. They have an amazing alliance here. It's 5 people who are, I don't want to say older, because I mean, I wouldn't classify somebody like Genevieve as one of the older players, but probably the more experienced and more mature players, with Genevieve, Colby, Coach, Chrissy, and am I missing one name?
No.
No, okay. Then 4, but that's more than a good.
But you're talking about the new Kalo?
Yeah.
Aubrey, Colby, Genevieve, Coach, Chrissy, Tiffany, Joe.
Joe, that's who I was missing. But like that gives you a numerical advantage of 5-2 if you're Joe, Coach, Colby, Genevieve, or Chrissy. The one thing they don't have going for them is that Aubrey has something in her bag from Christian.
Yeah, that everyone's going to know about.
Could possibly come back to harm one of the 5 of them.
And so Joe tells us he wanted to work with Coach and Colby and wanted to meet them, and now he's getting his way. Colby tells us in confessional that Joe seems like someone he wants to be able to work with, and I can see what's building here.
Yeah.
And then Colby talks about his history with Coach, and they had that moment in the opening challenge of Heroes versus Villains where he had to swallow his pride on that one, and that was a hard pill to swallow.
That was a fun flashback.
But he never had any problems with Coach. It seems like they could work together. And we see this Coach, Colby, Joe trio form.
Can I just say who was the one who predicted a Joe-Colby alliance before the season started?
Probably you, since you're mentioning it.
That's right.
But my thought when I see this trio is the people that constantly complain about the honor and integrity thing and just don't want to hear it ever, man, those people are not going to be happy that these three are coming together.
I mean, I don't. Here's the thing. It's a legitimate strategy. I don't mind hearing it from someone like Joe, even if it's not the way I would play the game.
Yeah.
Hearing it from Coach, it's just honestly flying crap.
The difference is they both say the same thing. Joe
Yeah,
actually backs it up, though.
exactly.
Coach steals keys in the sand that he
Well,
didn't knock off himself, which is fair game.
yeah, I would do the same thing because it's not the way the challenge was designed, and I didn't agree that Ozzy gets to be the dictator of Fiji and set the rules that everyone has to follow.
I
But at
do
the
it
same
too.
time, it's you can't then go and just say I do everything fair when you do that in the challenge.
Yeah, I have no problem with him taking the key. I would do it too, but I wouldn't be like, oh, he destroyed my honor and bringing it up in a challenge.
Yeah, it's the
But
game.
like the honor
Ozzy
and
and Kyle
integrity
struck
thing,
a deal. Coach wasn't part of it. The end.
the honor and integrity thing, like I don't mind it at all. I think if you can win playing that way, it's more impressive because like not doing the lying and cheating makes it objectively harder. But
Yeah.
man, during 48, when we were hearing that, so many people complained about it that that's just what I was thinking of watching this trio form. That man, non Survivor Twitter is, I'll use that, not specifically them. It's kind of Facebook too, but Twitter's more annoying about it. Like that group of fans is
What
going to
isn't
hate that
Twitter more
trio.
annoying about than any other thing?
Do what?
I said, what object, thing, program, anything in the world isn't Twitter the most annoying thing when it comes to discussing?
Fair enough, but you and the audience have heard me talk about Survivor Twitter and how
No, I
extreme we
know.
are about
I'm
everything
just saying
enough.
in everything from Survivor to sports to politics to you name it, Twitter is the worst place in the world.
Hockey Twitter is usually fun. After the Olympics, there was a couple days there where hockey Twitter was unbearable, but
I would say it was unbearable during the Olympics. Or maybe not during the Olympics, about a minute after the Olympics.
I was specifically thinking of just the reaction to them making a visit to the White House and
Oh yeah, that was.
just expecting the men's hockey team to turn down that invitation. Like,
I I more meant in terms of people online commenting about one team won and one team lost when you
oh,
cheer for the team that lost.
yeah, I mean, that's fair. It was unbearable to me seeing everyone take shots at the U.S. men's team just for making a visit somewhere. And that's as
That's
far
okay.
as I'll go. I don't need to get into the politics of it.
Yeah, we don't need to, but
You saw
that's a.
that too, I'm sure, though.
Oh yeah, it was worse here, but I mean
Also,
that
you'll
is
be
okay because tomorrow night Canada's gonna get our revenge on the baseball diamond.
that's fine. You can have the WBC. I'd rather have the hockey gold medal
Fair
anyway.
enough.
I did see a shirt online that I almost sent you the reel just to stir the pot, and I didn't. And it was this guy wearing a T-shirt. It was like a list. It said things Canada does better than America. Number one, hockey, and then it was crossed out.
That's
And
funny.
I think it had Jack Hughes, his name and number on the back. And I was this close to sending it to you, and I decided to be nice. So
That's
you're
funny.
welcome.
Oh, I still would laugh at it.
I probably undid the being nice by bringing it up now, but oh well.
Oh well.
I kind of won it, honestly. Uh, so yeah, the honesty and integrity trio is forming, and Coach says this is a real full circle moment. So Coach tells us that if old Kalo had gone to tribal, Chrissy would have been gone, and he doesn't want that, so he's going to give her pointers. And number one, I'm glad that D wasn't the top target on that tribe because I was kind of afraid of them going to tribal.
Yeah.
again, I just watch these episodes from the perspective of the lens of my D fandom sometimes. That I can't avoid that.
That's fair.
You were probably the same way with Winners at War.
Oh yeah.
But also,
Winners at War was fun, but I had my biases. But like watching the challenge, it's totally not neutral. I only care about what one player does.
when yeah, you did yeah, because you didn't get into it until she started being on there, right?
I didn't know it existed until Natalie was on there.
I discovered it at Natalie, and then during the pandemic, binged through like all of it from
Nice.
13 forward.
I binged most of it, but like it was while Michelle was playing, I started binging the whole show.
Yeah. Let's see, like I mentioned Winners at War. That's your all-time favorite. My two all-time favorites up here on the top. Like this is me, my D fandom here isn't even as bad as I get, I assume. If either one of those two is ever back, which we'll never see, who knows how unbearable I'll be.
I mean, Probst as Amanda was really close.
Yeah, but it didn't happen.
Don't count out like 54.
I will admit I was wrong. I fully did not believe any of the Amanda Twitter rumors when they were happening. And
Yeah,
then Probst said that, but it was a scheduling thing because of like it's. I would love to get her back. I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm pretty
that's
sure
fair.
Kelly has said she's never coming back.
Oh, did
So,
she? I didn't even know that.
but yeah, if one of those two is back, we'll really see how unbearable I am. But you and me both having our favorite new era player on this season is a fun combination.
Yeah,
But getting back into it, my other reaction besides D would have been safe if Kalo went to tribal. We get a scene of Coach walking with Chrissy in the woods, giving her pointers and saying, like, oh, here's how you get along with people better. Like, they were going to vote you out first. Here's how we prevent this. We have really come full circle where he's doing the same thing for someone else that Tyson did for him in Heroes versus Villains.
yep.
Because Tyson walked him through the woods as Coach was like on the brink of tears. And don't tell your stories so much, or don't wear the feather. I don't remember exactly. The stories was one of them.
Don't do
Something
Tai
about
Chi on
the
the
feather in
beach.
his hair.
Don't do Tai Chi on the beach.
Yeah. Tyson was kind of brutal with that, honestly.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we have.
Tyson was brutal with it, but because he was telling it to Coach, the whole audience is like, yes, keep speaking facts, Tyson.
I don't see why the Tai Chi on the beach was a problem, honestly. It's not like he's doing it right at the shelter.
No, it's not really a problem. I think it's just very visual.
And like, if you're coach in that situation, it's coming from someone you played with on a previous season. So that probably softens the blow.
And we don't know enough. If Coach is doing Tai Chi that is just simply exercises, it's probably fine. But knowing Coach, he is probably very vocal while he does martial arts.
I need a coach. You know how they
I
make like
still,
workout videos, like workout DVDs?
yeah,
I need like a coach Tai Chi video.
I still remember when the karate instructor kicked me as a child.
Like, hey, at some point, the challenge on their socials was doing those workout videos with Rachel
Yeah,
hosting them. You
yeah,
remember those?
yeah, I remember that.
Can we get Tai Chi videos with Coach hosting
That would be epic.
just weekly the entire time 50's airing, whether he's still in the game or not? Just
Yeah,
Coach Tai Chi videos.
that would be amazing.
Let's chip in together and buy a cameo from him and ask him to give us an instructional Tai Chi video for the cameo.
That would be funny.
But no, we really this is the same scene from Heroes versus Villains. He's just on the other side of it.
Yeah,
That's wild.
it is.
I'm not sure how qualified he is to be on the here's how you get along with people that side of here's how you get along with people better. Really cool
Yeah,
to see him come full circle and be helping someone though. And it led to a really cool Christy scene of her kind of going through some struggles she's went through in life
yeah,
and cancer. And I didn't know about this until someone mentioned it during the draft, I think. Like I missed that somehow.
yeah. I think it was me who mentioned it. I remember seeing her story on Instagram.
But wow, what a cool confessional from her. And she tells us the swap is the perfect chance for her to change her game. And I think she's right. This is a big opportunity for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we then go to Sela. And Camilla had some initial, when she got swapped, PTSD from 48 of getting swapped to a camp with no Flint. Because in 48, she got swapped to the disaster camp and it did not go well.
Nope.
But they have fire and they have
they
shelter.
have
And this
fire.
camp is already much better than the camp she got swapped onto in 48.
This camp has someone who took science courses their whole life, unlike her 48 tribe.
What were I don't even remember which beach it was, but what were the original like occupants of that beach doing pre-swap?
Yeah.
And so Suri and Devins are talking in the woods. They're outnumbered. They know it. They say that they need to win, and they do. We'll get to that in a second. And Suri, in a confessional, explains the tribe to us in just the funniest way to me. Because she says that her and Devins are here. It's only two of them. And there's four Kalos and one from Vatu. R.I.Z.G.O.D. And like the facial expression, and she says something else after that. I forget what she says, some little saying, but she seems exhausted already purely by the nickname.
Yeah.
Just great confessional from her, right?
That was great. I still get entertainment out of it. I might not necessarily be in agreement because, like you mentioned, that our two favorite players from the new era are on this season. I'm sure everyone knows that Genevieve is my favorite player of the new era. R.I.Z.G.O.D is a very close second of my favorite player of this era.
He's so
So
good. He didn't
yeah,
have a good episode this week, but he's so much fun.
yeah.
He's kind of a bonehead, honestly. With one thing. The other thing that he
And
did
this week
that
he was.
we'll talk about was kind of dumb, but kind of smart anyway. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But we
But I
see
mean, still,
Jonathan and Dee talking, and I think the other Carlos maybe, about how good Suri is and how they love her, and the fact that they love her is why she has to go, why she's a problem.
right.
And again, people are saying what I was saying would happen immediately in the draft. And it took till episode 3 and a little bit last week. But someone is saying it and being smart enough to not run and say it to everyone on the tribe the second they hit the beach.
Yep.
I feel vindicated once again. I said this would happen.
Yep.
If it causes her to go home, we'll see. Maybe not. But I mean, the numbers aren't on her side. I would say, unfortunately, because I do like her a lot. But if that tribe goes to tribal, I have one interest. Don't let D go home. If that means Suri goes home instead, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I don't want Suri to go home, but I don't want D to go home more. So
Yep.
ideally, that tribe just stays away from tribal.
Fair enough. I thought you were the one who was saying you should vote Suri off, and now you don't want her to go home.
Okay, saying they should and saying I want them to are two different things.
I agree. I was just joking.
She's fun TV and she's incredibly likable. If I'm on that beach, I'd be genuine. I'd be smarter about it, and I'd wait till we went to we were guaranteed to go to tribal. But I'm out there like, guys, she's a legend. This is her 5th time. She's so good and so likable. You can't let her stay around very long.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd be gunning for her immediately. That doesn't mean I want other people to.
That's fair.
But if it's her or D, then yeah, bye. I don't think it would be because Kalo has 4 people. They're in charge on that tribe. But
yeah,
like if all the non-Kalos band
the only
together,
difference
Kalos
is
still
when
has
any
numbers.
tribe loses, returning player seasons have so much pre-gaming that the original tribes probably mean a lot less.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we then go to Vatu's camp where Mike is sorry, I lost my train place for a second. He's getting to know people, and he's
Yep,
the only member of his original tribe here. But there's two people he's now playing with that he played on his original season with.
yep.
Which
And
I immediately went to Game Changers when we were targeting the co-wrong people that played together.
yep,
And I thought, okay, one of those three for sure goes home here. That would be the smart move.
that would be the smart move,
But we
but
didn't
at
make
the
a
same
smart move.
but at the same time, is it necessarily the smart move? Because if these three can just pull in one person, and there is a lot of again pre-existing relationships, things like Omar talked about with the Blood in the Clock Tower alliance, it makes the whole possibility of maybe one person just wants to go deep in the game with the DVG3 who you can trust.
You know you can trust, but you like the reason I would be very hesitant to do that is if I'm going with those three from David versus Goliath, I'm
Yep.
always going to be number 4 in that group.
And you're right, but they don't know. Well, I guess they do know because they voted. I'm like, do they know that fire might not be a thing? And if it's not completely rigged, won't be a thing.
Yeah.
Because
And
I
so
think
if fire's not a
I
thing
know
at 4, I go home in a 3-1 vote.
that's it. I was wondering if players might be thinking, but four is effectively putting your fate in your own hands one way or another. But this season it might not be.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm not teaming up and being that fourth person for them. I'm kind of, can't believe I'm saying this. I kind of agree with what Ozzy was saying in this episode of target Q next. Get one of the three out first before they
Yeah.
alone are half the votes.
The only question is if you're somebody like Emily, if you don't want to be four with the DVGs, do you think you're four with the other people?
That's what I don't know, and I think that's why we got the result we did.
That's what I think.
But she wants to work with Ozzy, even though she was targeting him the whole time on their first tribe.
Exactly. I don't think Ozzy will want to work with her, but I do think Christian will want to work with her, and I think Christian is more than. I think Emily would be more than happy to work with Angelina and probably to get to know Mike.
She did get to talk, she did get Ozzy to like go along with the Q plan though. So
Yeah.
I think there may be something there. We saw a couple scenes of them. Emily told us in confessionals multiple times she wants Ozzy to be a part of her game, which is just
Have
a
you
total change in direction
have
from the
you
first two
realized that
episodes.
four people have left this game so far and only one of them wasn't in a unanimous vote?
Yeah. No, they all were. Oh, no,
Yeah,
Kalo wasn't. That
that's the
wasn't a
point.
vote at all. Okay.
My my point is that this cast really seems to be. I'm not sure if necessarily you're seeing Emily get on the Q plan, or I mean Ozzy get on the Q plan, or Savannah get on the Jenna Lewis plan, other than the fact of players just don't want to isolate themselves, and these players are also good at the game that they know which way the numbers are going.
I think you're right, but explain Stephanie's vote this tribal then.
Yeah.
Stephanie was the Angelina vote, by the way. You didn't have a vote. I forgot that when the votes were being read.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, we. I think for the first time ever had
Interesting.
a
So
whatever
then this
numbered to
is
one
not
vote,
then
and
this
the one
technically
vote.
is not a unanimous vote. My mind just said OQ voted for Angelina.
I think this is the first time ever we've had a vote where the vote was like whatever number to one, and
Yeah.
then the person that voted the one is still there.
Mm, you're
That's gonna
right.
be weird going back to camp, and I don't like the spot she's in. I need this tribe to stay away from tribal.
I like that spot.
For the spot Stephanie's in,
Yeah,
like, like, because you don't want her to do well, or you think she's in a good spot.
that's exactly it. I don't want her to do well.
I was just saying, like, analytically, my rooting
No,
interest,
you're right.
my draft
I
team aside,
I
she
was joking because I know that you're cheering for Stephanie this season. I think. Well,
well,
other than D,
I'm cheering for D.
but
Other than that, I just don't want the people on my team to all go home super early.
I am. I think the audience have figured this out, but I am not cheering for Stephanie. Not
Yeah.
even close.
Well, if that tribe goes to tribal, she's going home next.
Yeah.
So I need Vatu to not finish last next time. Because despite Brett and Kevin's predictions, it doesn't seem that we're going to get double boots every week
But we've
or whatever
done
you guys said.
well. The thing is, we need, in order to fit the numbers the way I at least see them going, we need double boots 4 times and single boots twice. We've now had single boots twice and a double boot by a medevac once. So my timeline could still be exactly correct.
Why is there only 6 episodes in your plan?
No, until merge.
Oh, okay.
After merge, it'll be single boots the whole time.
I I don't think they've done it since Edge of Extinction. It might have been Island of the Idols. I don't remember that season very well. I want to see them bring back the twist where 2 tribes go to tribal together and only vote out one person.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
That's given us some good content.
I could see that for like maybe the episode right before merge.
That twist in Game Changers gave us another bonehead JT moment where his loose lips sunk Malcolm.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I could
JT.
absolutely see that happening this season. Like if we delay the merge by 1 week in order to have a single boot episode pre-merge, but with 2 tribes.
I'd love to see that twist, but the 2 tribes have even numbers.
Yeah.
Because if one tribe has a numbers advantage, they're voting someone from the other team out. No, and it's not even a question. So we'll see. But we got ahead of ourselves on Vatu. Q, he's excited to talk to Ozzy and deliver the goodwill and inform him of where his idol came from. Which is just very cute. I love this.
Yeah. I mean, this whole episode is very cute.
And we see a possible, right after this, Ozzy, Q, and Emily trio forming. And this is where in a confessional, the first time in a confessional, Emily says she wants to work with Ozzy. We get it a couple times.
Yeah.
But she said she's excited to get to know and work with him. Even though they haven't been close on their so far, she's kind of interesting here after he's my note. Sorry. She wants to work with him now. And I wrote this down as part of the same thing. This is a separate thought. This is interesting to me. You want to work with him now. You've been the voice that keeps saying his name the first 2 episodes.
Yep.
What changed?
I wonder.
So we also here see Emily be way more loose-lipped than I expected her to ever be. I thought
and Christian is not happy.
Oh, he does. Yeah, he doesn't find out till a few notes later. But she tells them what Christian told her right before the challenge, and that Christian just said, "Hey, Aubrey has an idol."
Yep.
And also, I love that Q keeps calling her Emily Flippin in his confessionals and saying the whole name instead of just saying Emily. Because at this point,
I think everyone knows her as Emily Flippin.
What?
Like at this point, I think the whole fan base calls her that, but like I know people in the fan base who will just refer to Emily Flippin in Survivor now. So
financial analyst Emily Flippin. There was a bunch of memes during 45 that just said that on it. But it just Q saying the whole name made me laugh. Q then tells Stephanie about Aubrey's idol, so everyone on this tribe basically knows about it now.
Yep.
And then we see Angelina and Emily catching up, and Emily's loose-lipped again. Because she straight up tells Angelina that, hey, they told me not to trust you and that they were going to send you home if you guys went to tribal. And right here, where she's been loose-lipped 2 scenes in a row, is where I'm thinking, oh, she's going to get herself sent home because she can't keep anything to herself all of a sudden.
I mean, just like early on in her survivor career.
I just, this feels like she's better than this. Like, this just feels out of character.
Yeah.
But Angelina tells Emily this is the first time in 7 days, like the whole time they've been there, that she has felt someone was being straight with her. And that, again, that just shows how crazy and how much of a mind flip this game is.
Yep.
And so, next is the scene you were talking about.
This was
Emily
hilarious.
tells Christian that
Christian is so out of character here. I never thought we would get this.
Emily tells Christian, hey, I made a mistake. I told them what you said about R.I.Z.G.O.D. And I'm not going to do it exactly right, but we get a confessional of him on the beach, just like doing the hands and the arms.
Yeah.
I love that. That's such a mood. But yeah, that was my note here. Christian understandably crashing out in a confessional. I feel like Emily is going home tonight. Was my other note. I already said I had that feeling. But he also tells us Emily told him Angelina had been on the bottom and she seemed willing to work with them. And if both of those are true, it alleviates two of his biggest fears on this camp.
Yes.
So we
And
go
I
to
think when that
Kalo.
originally came up, that was Emily's thought, is that she wants to work with Christian and with Angelina. But
I think she wants to work with Christian and with Ozzy, but that might be conflicting.
that might blow up in her face.
Yeah. I think she's smart enough to avoid having it blow up. Like, if it's not possible, she'll realize that. But
And pick one.
I think if you're that tribe, you have to vote one of those three out next time, though.
Which could set the table one way or another for a big blindside, maybe Emily making the first big move in this game.
Yeah. You just. Like, it's not just that they played on the same season. They have stayed really good friends outside the game. Mike put Angelina in his show. You can't leave those three together.
But what if Emily wants to be in his show?
Well, then she can go be there and give up her chance of winning this show. Because that's not a winning strategy, is like being number 4 to a trio.
I agree. It's not a winning strategy, but not everybody is Joe Hunter either. She might keep it just through the merge and then do something else. And that could be great gameplay.
I would vote one of them out next. And if you had been able to get the numbers, I would have been in favor of voting one of them out this time. That trio just scares me, all on the same beach together. But going to Kalo, we see Genevieve is trying to quickly offer safety to people.
Before we just quickly go to Genevieve, I just want to say that I still might disagree with you on that. I totally see your point, but I do think if you're playing 6 moves ahead, kind of like a game of soccer, that you can work.
Makes me happy when you call it soccer.
I've looked at our analytics. We have like 2 people from Australia and 1 person from the UK who listen to this show, and like 90% from USA and Canada. So
shout out Australia.
Yeah.
It just makes me happy to hear is all. I know why you do it, but nonetheless.
But I don't want people to assume that I mean the first down thing with an egg-shaped ball.
Real football.
But the point that I'm trying to make is that if Emily is playing 6 moves ahead, I think this could be really smart for her to work with that trio if it's then going to be a big move for her to say, I worked with them until I didn't need them anymore and then took them out.
That's true. My fear
And
is Christian has kind of been her top ally so far. Now, she's not his. Devon's is his.
yeah.
But if she makes that flip and votes out Mike or Angelina, did
Oh,
you then burn that bridge with Christian and you lost
you,
one of your top allies, and now like
you
that's a
if you're
person
going to
you
make
had but
that
you don't have anymore.
if you're going to make that move, you have to take out the most threatening of the three, which is Hibiki first.
Yeah, but Angelina's who's going next if they go to tribal and it's one of those three.
If it's one of those three, but I don't think it is.
It should be, but it might not. I just need that tribe to stay away from tribal
Fair.
because I've got two of my people on that tribe, and my third person is on a tribe where she's strongly in the numbers.
Yep.
Now there's a whole tribe with none of my people on it. I'd like the new Kalo to go, honestly, but and we go to the new Kalo where Genevieve is trying. She's just social gaming. She's trying to quickly offer safety to people. It's like, hey, I'm with you. I'm not targeting you, and just let that ride.
Yeah,
This is smart.
it is. I
She's
think it's really helping Genevieve's game that she's playing now with returning players. And most people, you can't say that. You would be like, oh, someone like a Kim Spradlin was so much better of a player when she was against the One World cast than the Winners at World cast. Boston Rob played his best game against the Redemption Island cast. In Genevieve's case, I think she is a top tier player, but the fact that she's now playing this game with composed allies who know this game, people like a Colby, like Joe, as opposed to, say, a Rome, is going to really help her move forward where she doesn't have to be the one to make every single big move and feel like she's always becoming a bigger and bigger target every single week.
I was not expecting a Rome reference. That's awesome.
I'm going to make Rome references throughout Genevieve's whole game.
Fair enough.
I think I've made a Rome reference to Genevieve's play every single episode we've done this season, including the preseason and the draft.
We also learned that Jen still wants Aubrey gone, and she's telling everyone about what's been happening to camp up to that point with her and Aubrey. And
Yep.
kind of like, hey, Aubrey came to me on day one and said she liked me and was a fan and wanted to work together. And then that kind of soured, and then she said to me, said, hey, you're really scary. I don't know if I can work with you. Which really weird timeline from Aubrey. I kind of didn't realize how that timeline had stacked up. But hearing that story retold, like
Yeah.
going
I
to someone and saying, I can't work with you because you're too good. Like, even if you feel that way, don't tell them that.
I almost wonder if Aubrey is getting Victoria vibes from Genevieve.
Maybe.
Because I'm sure, knowing the type of player Aubrey is, I'm sure that 38 experience still kind of is haunting her in the first few days of this game.
That's fair. We also see Aubrey bond with Tiffany and say that Tiffany has her loyalty as far as they go. This is the first time we've really seen Aubrey find an ally, finally.
Yeah, for really the first time since Korong.
Yeah.
When she was obviously close with like Joe, Sydney, Ty. Sort of Ty, because Ty's game was all over the place.
Neil.
Yeah. Until he left without passing off the idol. Not like I don't think he was allowed to, but she wasn't happy about it.
Yeah. Neil somehow found a way to be a bitter juror without being on the jury at Final Tribal, by the way.
Yeah.
Just wild. But we go back to
I'd like to
Sela.
forget that moment.
What?
I said I'd like to forget that moment.
I mean, it doesn't make Michelle look bad. I feel like Neil
No.
looks bad there.
That's fair.
He just looks bitter that he didn't get his way. That's nothing bad about her.
That's right.
We go to Sela, and this is where we get the two Rizzo moments and the other Charlie moment is all together. Before we get into the drama, though, Rizzo speaks Albanian apparently.
You didn't know that?
No,
Rizo
we,
was born in Albania.
well, yeah, well, I don't know. I missed it. They didn't. I don't remember having a scene like this on his first
I
season where
don't
he was
think he had a
actively speaking it.
scene like that where he was speaking it, but I know he grew up in Albania and immigrated to the States in
Oh,
his childhood, so like he can remember living in Europe.
I missed that apparently. I just thought this is a cool scene. He's like speaking it all out.
Yeah.
We also he finally does the full R.I.Z.G.O.D thing in a confessional for what I think is the first time this season, where he spells it R.I.Z.G.O.D R.I.Z.G.O.D baby.
Yep.
And I just had this feeling like, oh, now we're back.
I am so glad that Rizzo was on 2 seasons of Survivor back to back, and only one person in Tribal Council chat was able to draft him.
Like, no matter how far he goes this season, he's just entertaining to me. He's fun.
But I think he'll go very far in this group. He's a free vote.
Yeah.
He didn't play with anyone on his season who's left in the game, and he didn't get swapped with anyone from his tribe. He is wide open.
And
He
now
can do whatever he likes.
I mentioned he did one and a half dumb things. One thing that was really dumb and one that like was kind of dumb but could have been fixed easily, right?
Yeah.
We've now reached the thing that was just there's no reason to do this. I mentioned he asked Charlie a question earlier.
I mean,
Oh my
this
god.
was great.
And the question is he sits there on a log at camp and goes, Charlie, can I ask you just like a fan question? And then Charlie says yes, and Rizzo just goes like, I think I know the answer, but like you and Maria don't talk anymore, right? And you can tell by Charlie's face, like, this is a sore subject.
The second that he asked that question to Charlie, my mind just instantly flicked into Bad Blood by Taylor Swift.
My mind went to why would you ask that? If you know they haven't talked, that probably means it's a sore subject for him.
Yeah.
And
think?
you bringing this up won't do anything but upset him and remind him of those hurt feelings.
Yeah.
What was the thought process here?
I would love to know what Rizzo. I'm gonna guess if it's gonna depend how much airtime he gets and how far he goes in the game. But if hypothetically Rizzo was to go out this upcoming week, that's gonna be the scene that Jeff asked him about at the live reunion.
I forgot we get a live reunion.
We get a live reunion this year.
Assuming the fans voted for it.
Assuming that Chinese hospitals don't get overloaded by some bubonic plague tomorrow on the 6th anniversary.
What?
Assuming that we don't get another global pandemic tomorrow on the 6th anniversary of the last one.
Oh, no, those only happen on years that end in 20. We had them in 1720. I have a meme in my phone from January of 2020 that says when it's 2020, but 1720, 1820, and 1920 all had worldwide plagues.
Oh, God.
That was before
till the next one. Thank God.
That was before COVID happened, and I don't think a meme has ever aged better.
Probably not.
It's fantastic. But I forgot we got a live reunion. But yeah, and like Rizzo's a super fan, so like I could make the argument of, oh, he was just genuinely that curious, he wasn't thinking logically. But he started the question with, I already know the answer, but like Charlie said when he co-hosted on Fire that they hadn't talked since before the premiere aired.
Yeah.
Like, this is just so dumb.
Yeah.
It's good TV, but like that's a great way to make people not want to talk to you.
Very true.
But we then see Rizzo
not aligned with Charlie. It's not great strategy because it'll make anyone else question your ability to focus on the game at the same time.
Yeah. I saw someone on Twitter make a joke. Like Mike Bloom posted a picture of this scene and a picture of Lex from All Stars.
Yes.
I sent it to you and Kevin. It's like, oh, you and Boston Rob, do you still talk? And someone commented and like he was asking Jesus right after the resurrection. So are you still beefing with that Judas guy? Like it's just, Judas is a really extreme comparison. That's just one I saw.
That's
But
funny.
like good I love Rizzo. I This was just a dumb thing to do. There's no benefit to him here. And it's
Yeah,
not like he was just genuinely curious. He knew the answer already.
absolutely.
But the next scene is Rizzo talking to Charlie in the hammock. And he wants to work with Charlie. It's not mutual that we're about to learn. But he fills him in on the boomerang idol, and then Ozzy has one, and Charlie's happy to have this info. Then we
Yeah.
get to the half dumb thing he did, which wasn't entirely his fault, to be fair. But it's a clip from the night before of they ask Rizzo if he had a bestie from his season. Goes, yeah, my number one, my bestie, and he kind of lies, half lies, and says it was Sophie. And like in real life, the three of them are all three like
Yeah.
even like
There
this.
was a joke online about who's really the duo within that trio, and all of them were laughing about it last night. But I don't think there is one. The
There's
three of
not.
them are probably going to be friends into the 80s and 90s.
But like within 49, it was him and Savannah. They were together a week before they got with Sophie.
Yeah.
I do love Sophie Bellardi, my favorite player from 49, getting a full name mention,
Yeah.
which she also seems very happy about. She did a TikTok live last night that was hilarious.
That was good.
But Rizzo says he had a number one, a bestie, Sophie Bellardi. Says that she was in the. This is the half dumb thing. Says that she was in the final three and he didn't vote for her.
Yeah.
And like, if you're gonna lie and you're already lying and saying that she was your number one and not Savannah, why not just say you voted for her?
Yeah. Very true.
Because now, and there's no way Rizzo could have seen this coming, but we get Charlie saying that, oh, I don't want to work with him. He didn't vote for his number one to win the game. And maybe that's my baggage I'm bringing in here, but like Charlie wants Rizzo gone because of that now.
Yeah.
Because Sophie was hypothetically his bestie, and he didn't vote for Sophie to win.
Yeah.
Which, again, seems like a reasonable lie from Rizzo, but at that point, Savannah's gone.
Yep.
You can just say, hey, Savannah was my bestie, my number one.
Right.
Like, I lied about it while she was here, but. Or if you're going to go with saying Sophie was your number one, why wouldn't you just say you voted for Sophie?
Yeah.
Again, this is only half dumb because it's an easy fix. And I don't know that Charlie's strong response of I need him gone now because he didn't vote for his number one to win. I don't think Rizzo should be expected to see that response coming.
Right.
But like we could have cleaned this up a little bit. It's not nearly
Absolutely.
as dumb as the Maria question though.
Yeah, no question.
Speaking of Maria, we get another mention from her that again Rizzo's response is just my jaw drops and I'm just like, gee, you are really just kind of pouring salt in the wound here. Someone goes, oh, Rizzo, are people going to call you a Maria of your season? And his answer was no, because my vote didn't cost her the win. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, not the greatest episode for Rizzo.
But it's so entertaining.
It was entertaining. I was just about to say that.
It might be the dumbest thing anyone's done all season, but him asking Charlie if he and Maria talk and like bringing up old wounds was great television.
Oh, yeah. Everything Rizzo does is great TV.
Very likely might be the dumbest thing anyone's done so far this season, though.
Yeah, I might say it's
Other than
about.
just Jenna's entire approach to the
I
game.
was gonna say Jenna plotting about who to vote out before you even compete in one immunity challenge. That was pretty dumb.
Yeah, but like,
Jenna was right, but I honestly think Jenna is still in this game today. If Sui messes up that challenge and then Jenna comes back and says what she said.
yeah, but
And
this
Sui's looking
really,
like the most dominant player. So if Sui goes on to win this game, Jenna is at fault for that.
and like, this question is not why Charlie doesn't want to work with him. Charlie doesn't want to work with him because he thinks Rizzo didn't vote for his number one.
Yep.
But just the concept of asking a question that you almost know is just digging up an old hurtful wound for someone
Oh yeah.
in a game that's about getting along with people and being likable is just so dumb.
Either way, we've been going for an hour, so we should probably get to immunity and start to wrap the episode up.
Yeah, well, we're still shorter than most podcasts. Our audience is fine.
That's fair.
We get to immunity. It's also for reward. First place gets 4 chickens, second gets one. And it's a
Notice if
blindfold
you get
challenge.
one, this
What?
is the first time that they've ever given away one chicken as a second place reward.
Yeah.
So I thought this was interesting because if you get one, now I don't need to explain human. I don't need to explain chicken sexuality to the entire audience, but
No, we already did that last season, I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
I'm pretty sure. Long story short, one chicken doesn't produce eggs on its own, so you
Well, if
eat the
I
chicken.
remember from last, it might have been with Kevin then. Because I made a comment of you need a male and a female to make eggs. And apparently, it doesn't work exactly like it does with humans. I think a female can still lay eggs.
Interesting.
I don't remember, but I remember chicken biology being a thing last season. And
It was.
Kevin, text us when you get to this part of the episode because I feel like it was you that probably corrected me on that.
Either way, I'm going to be adamant, as I always am. Just cut the head off the chicken right before your next immunity challenge and end it there.
Eh,
The eggs are not worth anything.
it depends on if they're actually laying eggs or not. If it's like getting busy with its egg laying, like, yeah, you can have protein for a few days instead of just one meal.
Yeah, I'd still say eat the chicken. I'll always say that.
I go back and forth, but it's a blindfold challenge. You have your tribe is blindfolded, collar on a tower, classic challenge. Instead of gathering the puzzle pieces, you're gathering these rings, and you bring the 3 rings back to the tower. And then
And
once,
Camilla was the caller in her season, so she's getting a redo.
yeah, and then once they bring the rings back to the tower, the caller comes down and like guides their tribe to the end of the obstacle course, like a elementary school teacher guides their little line of kids to where there's a puzzle where two blindfolded people will solve the puzzle while the caller tells them what to do. Is that part new, or is the puzzle solving normally blindfolded on this challenge?
No, that's new.
I like that.
I liked it. The funny thing that said in this was to somebody else. I commented, can you believe that 24 and a half years later, we're seeing Colby compete in a variation of this challenge again? To which I then commented right below, is Colby going to douse a bucket of water over Aubrey if he loses? Shout out to Joey, who should be on this season.
He ends up not finishing last because Sela wins. Kalo finishes second.
I commented this before the challenge.
Oh, I know. That was my transition to keep us moving because you don't want us to go forever.
I
But
just think the audience doesn't want us to go forever.
well, they're stuck here. I don't know what to tell them. But we go back to Vatu, and Mike says we have 3 David versus Goliath members. We only need one more, And it seems like Christian has formed a strong enough bond with Emily to make that happen.
Yep.
I'm like, again, I'm just scared of letting that trio work together because it's not just the same season. They were close in their season and they're close outside of it years later.
Yep. I see your point.
Mike tells everyone he wants to target Steph, and I wrote down this is bad for my team. Christian tells Steph he'll go with her on an Angelina vote, which he doesn't mean. I don't think he means it.
Yeah.
I mean, unless is this trio not as tight as I'm making them out to be?
No, they are.
Okay.
I think that's just playing the game from Christian's point of view.
Yeah, Steph's in a really sucky spot after this episode, and you can see it building during the
Yeah,
episode
she
looking
is.
back. But then we see Mike tell Emily that even though he told everyone Steph, he actually wants to vote out Q.
And then Q tells people to vote for, tells Mike to vote for him.
Oh, we'll
We've
get
seen
there.
this before.
My note here in all caps was Mike, will you stop targeting people on my draft team? Because he has said half my team's name in about two scenes here.
That's funny.
We get a White Lotus clip of Angelina and Kara's scene. So we're not only flashing back to Survivor, we're flashing back to other shows now.
Mike must have demanded to. I mean, I guess it's Mike's show. He can do what he wants, but he must have found a way to get. What app is it that you guys use for White Lotus down there?
I don't use it, but it's HBO Max, I think.
Yeah, he must have found a way to get HBO Max permission to use a clip of it in a CBS show.
Yeah. But Emily tells us in confessional she has two options. Vote for Angelina, which would deepen that bond with Ozzy that she's so focused on wanting to build now, but would heavily irritate Christian, who she's been working closely with the whole time. Or she can go with Christian and vote out Q. And then Q tells Mike to vote for Steph so that Q tells Mike to vote for him so he doesn't vote for Steph. And why are you telling people to vote for you again?
He did that before. It seems like it's a part of Q's game.
Yeah, but this time he actually went home. Last time
Yeah,
he pretended to try and quit and said, "Hey, vote for me," and they kept him around.
because these players are a lot better than the 46 cast. You give them a chance to vote you out, they're going to take it.
This is why you fell to the last pick in the draft, Q.
Yep.
Because you put votes on yourself. Emily tells us she likes the idea of voting out Q, but wants to get Ozzy on her side of the vote because he's somebody that can be an asset to her game and only her game, not to Christian or anyone else. And this is a really smart thought here. Just trying to keep that alliance with Christian, but have an ally that he doesn't have. Kind of separate yourself so you're not fully dependent, right?
Exactly.
So we go to tribal. I wrote down Q goes home unanimously. Then I went to look at voting history and remembered that Q didn't have a vote. So Stephanie was just the only one that didn't know the plan.
Yep.
And then I wrote down, dang it, you asked to receive votes. Why? I was just annoyed at Q for how he handled everything.
I got something to say about Tribal this week.
Also, to be fair to Q, even if he doesn't ask for votes, there's a really strong chance he goes home anyway. They were already targeting him.
Yeah.
But stop putting votes on yourself. You did that last time you were here.
Fair enough.
What's your tribal thing?
Mike White, in my opinion, that was the third best voting confessional of all time.
What was it again?
Holds up Q. You asked me to do this vote. Something along those lines. I'll look it up.
Is one of your top two the Sesternino Na 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 Hey 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 song?
Number 2 of mine is Sandra, Heroes versus Villains. writes down
Oh,
reboot, I'm gonna vote for you, and you'll vote for me to win $1 million. And
yep.
my number one voting confessional of all time, Ellen Lobdell in Tokentines, Dragon Slade.
Oh, there you go. I'm not a huge fan of this person. I don't dislike her either. I'm just kind of indifferent, don't have an opinion. Crystal Cox voting for Randy and Gabon is also incredible because
Yes.
she's so loud they could hear her from the seats they were sitting in,
Yeah,
which is just crazy.
that was funny.
But yeah, so a line blindside first boot. Do you want to go first or do you want me to?
You go. I kind of forgot to plan for this.
I did too, so we're getting off the top
Okay.
of my head.
Um, I will come up with something quick.
Okay, me too. I have an idea. I just need to look at the names.
All right.
Because we talked a lot about this season, about this trio. They've all three played together before, and
Yep.
they're dangerous, right?
Yep.
So I have to find out who the other one. Your three is another. They weren't nearly as tight as this 50 slash David versus Goliath trio is, but you have another version of three people that played on a season, then played on another season together. Are you ready?
Yep.
You have Aubrey, Ty, and Caleb.
Aubrey, Ty, Caleb. Which Caleb are we speaking of?
Caleb Reynolds. Co-
Okay.
this is the
All right.
co-wrong trio that was also on Game Changers.
I am going to align with Aubrey. Loyal, beatable, and goes far in the game. I am going to blindside Caleb. Don't really know as much about him. We've only seen him go home early. I am going to first boot Ty Chaos.
I am kind of indifferent on Caleb on Survivor. I've heard some not great things about him on during his Big Brother time,
Mm,
but
I have not watched that.
I haven't watched it. I've just been told things.
Fair.
See, normally I would align with a losing finalist and say, oh, it's been proven you can go to the end with them and win. But there's two of those here.
Yeah.
And I will say, I said this trio is not as close as the David versus Goliath trio. Ty and Caleb were surprisingly close as a duo. So I don't want to downplay that. I'll give them credit. And for that reason, I'll first boot Caleb because I don't want to have a duo in the game together.
Yep.
I'll blindside Aubrey because she has gone to the end and lost before, but she's really smart. And not that Ty's smart, but he's just kind of all over the place. And if I have people on the jury that he said he would give them his half of the super idol and then didn't, that's a guaranteed vote for me.
Yep. That's true.
I hope that's not the case because I kind of hate super idols, but they're just too overpowered. All right,
Very true.
what you got?
You are getting the Align Blindside first boot of the SEC.
Oh, geez. The
Representing
Securities and Exchange Commission.
no, the Southeastern Conference.
I know.
Representing the Old Miss Rebels, Q Burdett voted out today. Representing the Louisiana State University Tigers, Denny McCray. And representing the University of Florida Gators, Brad Culpepper.
I'm glad there wasn't anyone representing Tennessee in there. I was going to make a face.
Not a Tennessee fan?
No.
Oh. If I had to pick
Tennessee and Kentucky are kind of rivals, and my mom, as you know, is a big Kentucky fan. Their fans are also just the most obnoxious online fan base I may have ever seen. So,
Heather,
not
hope
just
you're.
online, actually, in person too. They threw mustard bottles at someone.
Oh, I was gonna say, Heather, hopefully you're gonna just tune out as of this point of the podcast. But if I had to pick a team in the South to cheer for, it would probably be Tennessee because Peyton Manning played there.
I mean, that's fair.
Who is
But
obviously my favorite football player of all time, if the audience doesn't know that.
I thought it was Tom Brady. I'm just kidding.
Okay, good.
I just wanted to see the face you'd make, and that look of just derision was perfect.
I was like, wait, did I hear this right?
No, but I'm gonna first boot Culpepper because like I normally keep the tribe strong, stay away from tribal. I still
Yeah.
have Danny, so that's fine.
Okay.
I don't need Brad. So and cute, they all three help me keep the tribe strong. So
Yeah.
I'll blindside Danny because he's likable and he's earned votes at final tribe. No, he didn't make final tribal. Never mind. But he would have gotten a vote if he was there.
Oh yeah.
But, which leads me to a
I
line
mean,
with Q, and I'm not
if
convinced I
if the
can get
jury would have started at the real merge and not the earn the merge, he definitely would have got Sydney's vote if he made it.
What if we get What if we get some like? Well, they killed her in the merge last season. Never mind. I was gonna say, what if we get some version of it, but they killed it.
Just no hourglass twist on this season.
Yeah.
If they do an hourglass twist and didn't let the fans vote on it, that might be the most controversial things in the history of Survivor.
No, they're not doing the hourglass. What they're doing is the outcast twist.
Oh God. I mean, that could be it could be worse based on the hourglass twist.
I have heard. Speaking of the outclass, interesting fact I learned recently. I've seen Andrew Savage say recently on Twitter. I think he was just doing Q&A on Twitter or just like quote tweeting questions. And Outcast was never going to get votes to win that season, not because they had been voted out, but because they had better camp conditions at the Outcast camp.
Yeah.
I learned that recently.
Makes sense.
So I'll first boot Brad. I want to align with Danny, but he beats me. And I'm going to align with Q to the end, and I'm not convinced we're going to get there. I'm afraid he's going to do something stupid or chaotic and blow my game up with his on the way there.
And that is exactly what I'm worried about. So I'm going to first boot Q. I'm going to blindside Danny, who I think is the biggest threat here, and take Brad to the end.
Your answer's better. All right. Well, check out all the Reality Realm shows. New Generation Challengers, I assume, will be back at some point. Roundtable Talk is on a break this week, but we'll be back soon. Pit Stop Pals is going strong. Check out all those shows on social media. And with that being
Bruce,
said, grab your torches and head back to camp. Bye, everyone.
Before we go,
yeah.
Bruce, do you want to tell the audience about the special episode of Tribal Council Chat coming up on the 11th of April?
Oh, the one we're doing in person?
Yeah.
Yeah, first time ever. That's going to be really exciting.
We're going to be doing Tribal Council Chat not on Zoom. We will be doing it live from the lobby of my hotel in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yes.
We'll be recording that on the 9th, Thursday.
Yes. So that'll be really fun.
That will be fun. I made sure I'll be able to watch the show because I have a room at my previous destination until midnight, and then I'm taking a 1 a.m. flight. So
we're going to a hockey game that night on Thursday.
We're
going to have to figure out when we're recording, but you're getting in pretty early, so
yeah,
we'll have time.
I have a plan. I'll tell you it right after we end the call.
Okay.
The recording.
Well, with that being said, grab your torches and head back to camp. Bye, everyone.
Good night.